credit. She saw my credit profile, and she literally, like, it was not even about the car sale anymore. She just pretty much like pulled me to the side and was just like, your credit is, number one, empty, but you have, you know, all these collections and you need to do this, do that. And I don't remember the exact advice she gave me, but I just remember her telling me how important it was for me to like invest some time into like looking into that or whatever. Like if I don't like if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not about like I'm either going now that I can't, I'm either going to hire somebody to do it. Because I don't want to stress about this. Like fall into the trap of endlessly praying and asking for signs, asking for confirmations before even taking action. Prayer is crucial, right? Like we know that speaking to the Lord, yes, I'm never denying it. However, it also faith requires action. The Lord says, please go and practice your faith. So that means that that's actionable. That's a verb.
Welcome to another episode of Salon Talk Literally, the podcast where we dive into a world of beauty, business, and everything in between.
We're here to bring you the real, the raw, and of course, the literal truth about what it's like working in the beauty industry with a few laughs along the way.
And we've got a really dope guest lined up for you today. All right, now let's get into today's topic. Trust me, you literally don't want to miss this one.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Salon Talk Literally podcast. And on today, we have a very special guest with us. Her name is LaShonda Martin. Shonda is the owner of Road to 750, a credit educator, content creator, investor, mother of two, and a solid woman of God.
Yes, Lord.
Yes. Shonda has built an audience of over 1 million viewers collectively, with 872,000 TikTok followers alone. First of all, she uses her platform to educate her audience on credit repair and financial literacy.
Yes.
Aside from work life, Shonda enjoys nurturing her close relationships, spending time in her motherhood bag, and trying out different makeup techniques, as you can see. From my personal experiences with Shonda, she has a pure heart for the people that she truly loves, and she absolutely loves to see people win and flourish in their God-given gifts.
Aww.
Welcome to the show,
Shonda. Don't start the show making me cry.
I know.
Hi, guys.
We ain't gonna cry. We ain't gonna cry right now. Maybe later.
I'm excited to be here. I feel like I don't usually do podcasts with like real friends. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just excited to see what the Lord is going to bring out of us today. So.
Girl, it's about to be real.
It's about to be so good. I can feel it.
I'm excited. Me too.
Yes,
really.
I can feel it.
Yes.
I was telling Key, I'm like, I think I told you initially, I was like, we got to get Shonda on the show. Like,
we been
I'm telling you, like,
we been like talking
she is
about
a gem. I'm like, we have to sit down and speak with my friend. Like, people need to see more of you.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't saying that they need to see more,
No,
but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
because I always feel like you and I have so many like thoughtful conversations and just like needed conversations in this generation. So I'm just excited that we are,
good.
You know,
and we feel
publicized.
like credit and financing plays a big part in this industry. So we wanted to definitely include you in so that you can give us the knowledge and just information that what our viewers may need to know, you know, when it comes to this, you know. Yeah. So we're excited to just hear all the things that you're going to bring to us.
Yes,
so.
I'm
so excited.
I'm super excited. So I'm just gonna start here. Like, for the people that don't know you or haven't been introduced to you, like, who is Shonda? Where is Shonda from?
Okay.
And how did you get to Texas? Because you're fairly new here as well.
Fairly, yeah. So I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri. Born and raised. And so I went to, after St. Louis, at around like 18, 19, I, like throughout my college years, I pretty much ended up in Virginia.
Okay.
So at the time, I was married. He was in the military. So we were stationed there. It was by Forest.
Okay.
And so I stayed in Virginia for around like 7 years. And then I moved directly to Dallas. Like, so it sort of just happened from childhood on into college age, St. Louis, college age until probably around like 2 years ago. I was in Virginia.
Here, that's what brought y'all to Texas.
No, so we're divorced.
Okay.
But he does live in Texas now.
Okay.
So it worked out. But after Virginia, Virginia is just, I love it for what it is, but I just knew that I have reached my capacity there. Like, I was just like, I need something new. I want to live in a bigger city. And just explore. And I just got on the plane. I don't know why I chose Dallas, to be quite honest.
I was gonna say that.
No, I don't. It was not. I don't have any family here.
I was the same way. I was like, it's crazy how, but I be feeling like it be guys,
Absolutely.
he be always like directing certain people to come to Dallas. Why? Some of us still have not discovered that why yet, but you know, we end up here. So we just trying to follow, we just trying to, and it just makes me so happy how we all come from the same different stories, and then like the obedience is for me. You know what I'm saying? So we all,
because there's like, I can look back now and be like, okay, I don't know why certain things happen. But it was it was the Lord for sure that led me here, because I had no reason. I had never even thought about moving.
You was like, why? Dallas?
And I just, one day I thought about Dallas, and I think within maybe 2 or 3 weeks I was living here.
Wow.
Moved my children.
Is crazy.
Yeah, like it was really crazy.
Wow. So you've been here now how long?
It's almost 3 years. So like 2.5 years around this point. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I think you and I connected
almost immediately.
Yeah.
Where did you guys meet?
I booked a hair appointment. I was looking on Instagram, and I was like, I need my hair. That's
normally how I go. I was like,
And I think maybe you met me within my first 2 weeks here.
Yeah.
So
like I was new too, so we must have moved around the same time.
Because if you think about it, she was 3 years. You said about 3 years.
Oh yeah, because I moved May 2022. Yep, May 2022. So it's almost been 3 years.
I moved during that summer, so like yeah.
Oh, wow.
So we met.
It's
you
crazy.
was probably like 2 months in. She booked a hair appointment, and we just clicked. And I remember looking at her page, and I was like, she came in the first time. You know, Shonda is very. That's what I love about you. It's like you are popular on social media, but you are really just down to earth. You don't care nothing about it.
Oh my goodness, it's cringy sometimes.
Yeah,
I always think like, okay, when people see these numbers, I feel like they expect me to be
more like
I'm like, that couldn't be further from the truth. I still ask.
That's normally how it is.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't.
You really don't care about that.
Don't care.
I like being in my own,
in your own space.
Yeah, and where that part is private for your life, like you just whatever you do and put out on there, it's pertaining just to your work and your business. But baby, my whole other life over here is so much more better.
That is so factual. I'm like, the best moments in my life never ever makes it on social media.
Absolutely not, and that's good. Keep it that way.
Yes. So tell us how you got into credit and financial literacy. Like, what brought that spark?
So in college, I was a young mom. So I had my first child at like 19. Okay. And you know, when you are a young adult, you approaching motherhood, you got to do things like adult things, like getting a car, getting an apartment. Right. And I just kept getting denied for everything. So I'm like, what? I don't know before that if I had ever even thought about credit. Like, I knew what it was, but I never really paid attention to it. And so I remember I was getting a car or wanting to trade in a car because I was having like car issues. And I went to the dealership. They pulled my credit, and by the grace of God, it was a black woman who she was my loan officer or whoever. And she saw my credit profile, and she literally, like, it was not even about the car sale anymore. She just pretty much like pulled me to the side and was just like, your credit is, number one, empty, but you have, you know, all these collections and you need to do this, do that. And I don't remember the exact advice she gave me, but I just remember her telling me how important it was for me to like invest some time into like looking into that or whatever. And she was just telling me like, you know, you're going to pay for the car that we're giving you today. I just want you to know you're going to pay for it 3 times before.
Wow,
like,
that is so good.
She was so raw. Like, yeah, she was so and I'm at this point, I'm talking beyond like a negative account, you know, and so I don't even know if at that time I really took it all in more than just like feeling burdened by it. Like, oh.
Yeah, because you're 19.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out motherhood and all that. So that planted the seed, I like to say. And that semester in college, I remember enrolling into a financial class for the first time. Okay. Yeah, so my degree is in business, and I undermined in finances or whatever.
That makes
and
sense.
so I enrolled in a class just because I was just like, okay, whatever. And when I tell you, since probably maybe like the first day of class, I just like it just. I don't even know.
It just
I don't
hit you.
Yeah, I was
You
just
knew.
like, I'm obsessed with this. Like,
Oh my God,
realizing like, oh, there's a system, there's a process, and there's practical steps that you can take. And for me, like, I'm a very practical person.
Yeah.
Like, don't tell me the issue if like you're not willing to spell out like the steps that I need to take. And because it's just how my brain works. And so when I realized that, like, oh, these are frameworks, these are systems that, and there's conclusions that I can get based on like certain actions or whatever. And so I just literally just went head in, just though we didn't really cover a lot of credit in that class, we browsed over it, but like credit was just like the one thing that like stuck out to me because I started putting the pieces together and realized that like, dang, this is really the center.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is
for the finance.
Yeah, like everything really is based on this.
Credit,
And so I just hyper focus on into credit, and like that's really where. And after the class, because again, the class only introduced it to me. After the class is when it was like
a deep dive.
Further education.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So once you took the class, like what was next for you? Did you start like teaching other people right away, or how did that look?
So after I started looking into it in my own time, like at home, I eventually started working for a government insurance company. We were doing like insurance claims for like the military.
Okay.
And so that was like a good job in my eyes. I was just like, okay, this is it. Yeah. Like I'm going to retire here. Right. This is going to be my career. I'm gonna move up the ladder. And I was very satisfied at that job. And I started studying credit and started fixing my own credit just by research, right? Like literally, I don't even know.
You were just basically
winging it. Winging it,
wow.
just my own credit. And I started seeing results.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, maybe I got lucky. You know what I'm saying? You know, like when something worked for you, you like, I don't know, maybe I just got lucky. So then I remember it was the few friends or family around me at that time. I was trying things to them. Yeah, just like trying little things. And I'm like, okay, the results are working. So I went to work and I was excited about this because I'm like seeing my credit score increase. I started at like 400 something. So it's increasing. I'm in the 500s. And I remember being like super excited. And I'm at work. I'm talking to my coworkers about it. We're at a call center. So we eventually got in trouble for like, conversating too much or whatever. Yeah. And for some reason, I now know it was the Holy Spirit, but in the real time, it was something that kept telling me, this is what you should be doing. Like, this is what you should be doing. Like, literally quit. Because I remember I kept getting in trouble for talking.
Oh, so he like talking about
yes. And I was like,
okay.
Yeah, that was a risk at that time.
At that moment, what was you thinking?
I'm gonna be quite honest. I'm real delusional sometimes, and I thank God for this because
some people won't even do it.
Yeah. Like and I was especially at that time, like I really was just like delusional to the point where I'm like, okay, if I really feel passionately and strongly about this, it's gonna work. Like, it's gonna work. And that's just it.
I love it.
And so I literally quit my government job at that time, and just. Well, before that, I had started a Facebook group. And I had added, I want to say 10 people. Okay. Within a month, that Facebook group had hit like maybe, I don't remember if it was like 50K or 100K. I remember it being like a big milestone.
Wow. And 30 days.
In 30, that's like, it was insane.
Wow.
And I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I had no business acumen. I don't know any business owners. But it was so like, intriguing to me.
Yeah.
Just teaching it. Like I would get on live for hours every day.
Oh,
just,
yeah.
Like, talk about it.
Yeah.
I love to, like when I tell you I love talking about finances and credit. Yeah. I found people who also loved it too because it's just like my family and friends. Yeah. I'm sure they was getting tired of me. Yeah. Because I can talk about it all day, especially when I'm like interested in something. Yeah. And so it just grew that way. And so I, quit my job. I still didn't turn that into a business, but like for me it was even still fulfilling just even doing the research and talking about it and seeing other people get results from the that thing. And so after I quit my job, eventually I was like, okay, let me get some official education. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't let me not just go off vibes anymore. Like, I need to grow up. And so I enrolled in this FICO course, and that just elevated it times 1,000. Yeah. Like, that was like, okay, now I'm turning this thing official.
See the importance of further education.
Yes.
You can go into one thing, but you need to further educate yourself to actually be proficient at what you do. Yes. I love that.
In fact, you should never stop learning.
Never.
I think that's where a lot of people mess up just in life.
Keep growing, keep learning.
Like,
keep yourself open to learning.
Yep.
Yeah. That's, I think that's like the groundwork of my entire life. Like, anytime I feel like, okay, you're feeling too much like an expert in it.
Yeah. It's more Lord, you need to know.
I need humble me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking, like, keep me a student. Yeah. Because like that will, when I, that'll, your vision, your dream, whatever you're working on, it will be swiped from under you very fast.
Yes. Very fast.
Real quick.
I'm telling you, I learn so much from our guests every time they come in.
I'm loving it already. Like, I have so many thoughts
I
going
know.
through my mind.
Because this one I was really waiting on because we go through different phases in our businesses, right?
We do.
And as we see the economy as it is today, and you see the people that are struggling with trying to make things work in the form of their business or whatever industry that they are in. Yeah. This is going to be there no matter what. This fits in any category, no matter what. For the stylists that we most want to track as our audience, and just people, period. Like, you can learn so much, which is credit and finance. And so, like I said, it could be 1 minute, like you said, you got your stuff all the way together, everything up point, and then another phase in your life, something happens and it just, and you got to climb back up again. Man. And so when that happens, how do you encourage someone because a lot of times they feel embarrassed. A lot of times people feel a certain way when it gets so bad they can get into a depressing mode. Yeah. So how do you talk to ones to let them know that it's not nothing to be embarrassed about? Like,
so what I would say to that, and I'm assuming you're referring to, like, when hard times hit.
Absolutely. Because people do.
We can't escape that. And on any level, you will face something that rocks you. So for me, like, I don't necessarily have any feel good advice for that, right? But what I will say is you are only going to remain in a place that you're in until you just decide that it is going to be your past. Yeah. Like, you cannot keep sulking and ruminating on, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. Yeah. Take inventory of what you did wrong and then just move forward, right? But what you said something that sparked a lot of thoughts in my head. You said, especially like in the service industry, right? Like, dealing with a lot of transactions, cash, even sometimes. Just being an entrepreneur, but specifically like in the service industry, I find that a lot of clients who are in the service industry typically has they never have issue with cash flow, right? Like, the money comes in.
It's gonna come. Right?
It's the organizing of that money that I think is the pinpoint of like why there's so many issues, financial issues, when it comes to specifically like the service industry because how the money comes in. And
so do you help prioritize that for a client? Or
I'm a educator, so I'll teach. Basically, I'll teach you how to do it. Because I used to do the do it for you service. And when I tell you
that came crazy,
I had the potential to make so much more money, but I just realized that like people are not learning through that. So you're coming back every 6 months, and we're having to go back to step one, and I'm just like, I can continue to make money, but
how are you helping them?
At what cost? So I'm like, no, I don't like that at all.
I like that.
So I would prefer to like teach you and literally not force you, because obviously you're an adult, but like force you to do it yourself because.
It's holding them accountable.
Yeah, wisdom only comes through experience.
Like you're gonna, and then seeing it a lot of times, it makes you,
seeing it and doing something about it. Because
doing it, because you if you don't see it, it's hard for you to even make changes and fix some things in your life. Like you gotta see it.
That's
just like when you write it down. Like when you write things down, you only gonna know
write the vision, make it plain. I'm really big on that. I stopped physically writing like maybe 2 years ago, and when I tell you I just got back to physically writing, and it changes everything.
Everything.
Like iPads can't replace. I'm talking pen and paper.
Yes.
I have been taking
Look,
my
Dom, you heard me say, girl, I be writing stuff. I can't help it. That's just what helps me because I know when I write, my vision is gonna be crazy. I can remember it. Even if I don't even bring my pad, I remember what I wrote.
Yes.
You know, so
like that's honestly like one of the biggest like the Lord has me in that season right now, like write the vision, make it plain. Because I'm wrestling with him about certain things. I'm like, no, Lord, I know you said this. But and I know we are not to go off site, you know, but but what's going on? So, you know, he just started write the vision, make it plain. When I tell you, when I started physically writing things, I immediately
it's
just
so clear.
It is. Your mind.
It's so clear.
Your mind.
Keep
going back to that.
like your mind.
Your mind.
But back to like the well, I'm sure we'll get into like just that
go ahead.
organizing of the finances. I just think with the service industry, I think that there needs to be a higher prioritization on getting that bank account, making regular deposits, right? Because I help people close on homes, right? And so I'm only using homes specifically because that's when your finances are going to be like there's a magnifying glass on your finances. And every T needs to be crossed and every I needs to be dotted.
Lenders do not play.
They really don't.
I can't tell you how often I am with a client who makes so much money,
but they just
works so hard, but they can't get past that closing table because of very like small things that, you know, if they had known, you know, prior, it would have changed everything.
Right.
And that just starts with that bank account. And I can't stress enough regular deposits. Like even if you get cash apps, even if you get whatever,
need to make a
have a central business bank account where if you have to physically make once a week or, you know, I wouldn't even do it every day unless your money comes in
every day,
unless it starts to get to that point. But like I tell people all the time, making a lot of money is nothing. They don't care about that.
They don't care.
They don't care about that.
You gotta see it.
And it has to be like consistent. That's what they want to know. Consistent. And
is it coming all the time?
That's why it's easier to get a loan as a 9-to-5 worker than as an entrepreneur.
It is.
That's so true.
Like
it is so harder. And I never forget when my processes. I mean, it took me, I'm not gonna lie though, it took a couple of lenders first. It had to be with someone who specialized with entrepreneurs only. Because other ones wasn't seeing it how this one specific lender did. Because so that's how I was able to get mines for my homes and stuff like that. I was just like, what is the problem? But it took we could easily be like, okay, let's choose a different lender because they wasn't seeing it, you know. They'd be asking questions. I'm like, do they not understand how this works? What's going on? Like,
it's a real humbling process too.
Right.
You like, what? You see the money?
You know, here. What is the problem? But when you get that one that understands how it works, then it's so much of an easier process. But they still want every single thing. Versus, like you said, a person with a 9-to-5. It's easy to verify their income and go home.
It very much is, and that's why like we do have to take additional steps to I say verify our income only because like obviously our income is verified. Well, you know, the ones who walking in right. But I'm saying we do make the money. However, if you can't portray that picture in black and white, then it doesn't matter.
That's true. I ain't gonna lie, that's the part that I struggle with like organizing it.
Yeah,
like
no, it's
organizing
a real thing.
it. Like it's a thing. That's why I was like, I can relate. That's what the CPAs and all that for. Because I'm like,
specialized industry.
It's too tedious work. It's a lot of stuff that you have to put in play. You got a quarterly pay and I mean, it's a lot of stuff.
It is stressful.
Yeah.
And I'm real big on like if I don't know, like if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not about like I'm either going to, now that I can't, I'm either going to hire somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not, I don't want to stress about this.
And I'm going to tell you too, I think what needs to be talked about because I did it for a long time and I'm just being very transparent because a lot of people will probably be able to relate to this. Yeah. I went so long without legitimately like just doing my business as it should be done, right? You know, you just like making the money and you put it in your account and you're not even really like organizing it as a business, right?
That's real.
So it's just like man, like the importance of that is so important, because then when it came to taxes and stuff, and they do it as a sole proprietor, so they don't have, let's talk about that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So these are things that people are just doing. So it's so important.
One that I see so often is like, they'll see a video like on TikTok or whatever, and it's like get a S corp, but they don't know anything about it. What that requires, the paperwork. Yes. I tell people all the time, like, I don't know what this phase of jumping into an S corp. I would never jump into it. Just S corp. Unless I did it. I didn't do it until I absolutely had to. When I tell you, I was trying to avoid it so much because there comes so with a higher level of and so I don't. A lot of people keep doing that, and then they try to get business loans or something like that, and it's just like your finances are not structured properly.
Yeah, because it has to be set up a certain way.
Absolutely, set up too.
Set up that's the big important stuff. And then even when you're a sole proprietor too, they look at you like you is by yourself. You really don't have,
there's no structure.
It's like it's personal. Like where, so you gotta still explain it that way too. So you might as well set it up in your LLC and make it structured as a business.
I'm seeing LLC.
Yes, girl. As long as I can go LLC, baby.
You hear me?
LLC.
I like when I tell
and you protect it. So
what? I don't understand the rush of wanting to move up.
I'm like,
especially if you don't have more than like 5 employees. It's just like, why are you putting the extra stress on yourself for no reason? But
that's so true.
Maybe that, you know what I'm thinking? They don't be even understanding. They going off of what somebody else.
That's the
education.
They going off of what they told. And a lot of time, I wish people stop doing it and stop telling the wrong information because it's not what it needs to be. Like
the blind
literally,
will lead the blind.
Listen,
a lot.
That's the one.
So I do see that. Like I see, and I didn't realize it until I needed to get something.
Same. Like
I was like,
I'm not gonna see her.
It's all wrong.
Yeah.
I was like, girl, so I didn't even like. It was like my it was like early 30s. I was like, and I still didn't even understand it.
Yeah.
I would be lying to you if I looked you in your face right now and told you I understand it even now.
Yeah,
we still
be struggling with this. That's what I'm saying. That's why I love that you was coming because this is people, they still struggling to this day.
Yeah.
And we all still do it. So we're not all the way together, just so y'all can know that.
No, not at all.
Like, that's the thing. And we're still learning as we're going. So it's so good. So when you get somebody in here that can help educate you and show you and let you know, like, hey, this is like the best option. This is the way to go. If you want to do this is the right what you need to do. So we're all like in a learning,
learning phase
right now.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, Shonda. Could you give us like what would it look like as far as the organization goes? Like the accounts that beauty professionals would need to set up, in order to get pre-approved for something. Like, is there like a certain flow? Because we do want to educate them, No,
I understand what you're saying. I also want to first say, so I pay an accountant, right? Period. Like, I don't want to ever even come up here and say like I'm an accountant, because I also pay someone to do that.
Absolutely.
I can give advice from a personal level of lessons and things of that nature that I've learned, and then of course when it comes to credit and stuff like that. That's where my expertise. Okay. So just in general, general advice for anyone who have already starting and whatever. If you just kind of lost in the sauce, you want to purchase a home, I will tell you a few things that I see that stops service workers often. Not separating personal and business accounts. I think that's probably like the main thing. Yes, like that so often. So often. Not having a business bank account separate from your personal, allowing your business or even personal account to go into the negative. There's records of that. So like when you are applying for a home, specifically when you're an entrepreneur, a lot of times they will check your banking records to ensure that you've not went into the negative within the last year.
Oh, they don't check.
So when it comes to your business bank account, I want to stress this. Your personal, even if your personal did go negative, do not allow your business bank account to go under $5, because then you are not going to be flagged in the banking system. You have to, like, if you're going to go negative, it needs to be in your personal.
Yeah.
At least
I hope you don't do it at all. Right. But I'm saying, like, let's just be real. It's
hard. Yeah, if it happens, let it be the personal.
Let it be the personal. Like you can't because that nothing looks like a red flag more than that. You know, and you're trying to get a business on or even purchase a home. Also, like I said, regular deposits. That is a big thing, and I really want to stress this point because like I recently just went through this with someone. They had the money, they had the credit score, all of that. The only thing that stopped them was because there was not a consistent track record of deposits. They would do it sporadic. Yeah. And it's unfortunate, but
was they entrepreneurs?
Yeah. Okay. So they were in the service industry and they were entrepreneurs, but I just meant that like maybe 3 times a week they'll do it this week, and then maybe next week none, and then the week following, you know, it just there was no consistency. And so as much money as they were making, they had a savings and all of that, credit score, because their deposits were not predictable, which is what the lender was. So like making those regular deposits, even I even say I feel like this is easier for me to understand. But like if you get cash or Cash App, withhold all of your earnings for the week and then make that deposit on Friday. I specifically Friday. I would recommend that entrepreneurs do it according to a 9 to 5 pay schedule. I'm gonna be honest, because like that is how the system is already
in place,
triggered. You know, like and
it might be easier to look
absolutely
that way. That's a good way to put it, because if you think about it, you withhold all your money into Friday and then you deposit it in there. It's easier for them to see what you made that week.
Exactly. And that's as small of a change as that is.
Yeah.
I promise you it makes a difference. Like
it's visual. You can see you visual, and then you can distinguish what you spend out of that money that you deposit.
Very true. That's very true. It's visual, and not only that, even just just adding another layer, even how our loan systems are made and aggregated. They literally are made to recognize those 1 week to 2 week payment patterns because of a 9 to 5 work schedule. Entrepreneurship is blowing up now, but the systems they're integrated. They're from 92 or something like that. So you have to. I always tell people like you have to first understand that there's a system in place and nobody beats. Like you can't go around. And I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know why anyone tries when it comes to like finding, because all you're doing is making it hard on yourself.
They're gonna all follow the same.
Like learn that there's a system there and learn how you either work the system or the system will work you. So.
That's so
okay. Good. If you know that they prefer 9 to 5 workers due to consistency, pay schedule, align your finances like that.
That's so good. Yes. And that's gonna definitely make a good understanding to people, because you just made it clear for me as well. Like that makes sense. Instead of us trying to scramble and figure out day to day,
it'd be stressful.
I'm thinking about how stressful it is. Like every day. Okay, because if you a person that get deposits daily, if you work, you gotta calculate that up daily. It's a lot. Yeah. That's so good.
That's really good, and I'm so happy that you explained that, and it was clear.
It wasn't clear.
Because it's gonna help. It's it's just the simple things that really help us out.
When I tell you, it's always the smallest, most simple things that we like overlook, because we be like looking at like what's the big picture? Like it's usually level one, the things that we miss,
the things that you miss, and then it's the fact that we have to be more detailed as entrepreneurs. That makes more sense.
We do,
you know,
especially until you are at the place where you get an accountant. You know,
where she can go and chase all those deposits, but like add them up and bring it to what you make and what you you know. We don't. And that's not our skills.
That's so true. I'm glad you said that. Yeah, because I think that there's a I say plague, but like a plague within, I want to specifically our community, where we feel like we need to do everything and be everything for our business, and nothing keeps us further from advancing and going to the next level.
Yes.
Learn to delegate. Yes. Learn that your business needs to be able to exist outside of you.
You don't know everything.
Yes. You have to share them profits if you want good help.
You do.
And you should recognize how to build a great team. Recognize when you've made a mistake, accept it, and move on. Like that, I think that like move on. Yes. We really like a sitting somewhere.
Good though, because sitting is a big deal.
It's our default sometimes. Like it's a defense mechanism. We will paralyze ourselves.
We will.
By overthinking.
Be so hard on ourselves.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're all
just because you make a
learn.
mistake, and we all are entitled for mistakes. You know, we're human.
Yeah.
So it's okay. And that's what I want to tell the people. It's okay. If you've been through something, you know, you messed it. It's okay. Move on. Start over. Like, pick up. It's okay. It's nothing to be, ashamed about. It's nothing to hold on to. Like she said, move on about it. Find another reason to do it. Find resources and just keep moving. Like, build it back up. That's it. It's simple. You know, I love it. And but we ain't gonna take Shonda on a financial journey. We going back to credit because this is where she is.
Yeah, this my area.
But she is giving bomb advice though.
Listen, I've lost a lot of money and I've learned a lot of mistakes.
Absolutely.
So that's why I'm like, if I can't stress anything to any of the viewers, know that, like, no matter how successful you think somebody, there are mistakes that was made.
Absolutely.
And the only reason why you see what you see now is because
you moved on.
You moved on. You accepted that you made a mistake.
Yeah.
Know that you don't give yourself grace.
Grace.
Like, how do we pray to the Lord asking for grace and we didn't even give ourselves grace?
Ooh, girl.
Listen, that's
you
a
hit
word.
that right.
You know what?
That was good.
That's good.
Because we ask for it, but we don't even give ourselves grace.
We don't.
And that don't even make sense if you think about it. It's like, why ask for it if you don't even give it to yourself?
Literally.
So true. And Shonda, you said something earlier about when you were working that job and how you were delusional. But I'm like, it wasn't really delusion. It was faith.
It was faith. So I only say delusional because I didn't know it was faith back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, I
think we are a little doodloo though.
You gotta be.
To be in entrepreneurship, you gotta be doodloo. Because if you were not a little doodloo, girl, you is not getting nowhere. You know, it's because you got to be like that, because then, or else you're gonna be safe. You're gonna be stagnant.
Is not
you're gonna be at all.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Every time I meet somebody, we all a little doodloo.
Yeah, we gotta be.
Absolutely. So I love it. We doodloo, y'all. We doodloo.
I'm not doodloo. A little delulu. Just a little.
And like, now that I done put faith behind it, now that I like have a relationship with the Lord, I'm like, I pray for that. Like, that's something I pray, Lord. I'm a little too on site right now.
Yeah.
Like, I need you to make me a little delusional. I'm analyzing a little too much. Dang. I need to make me childlike. That's why we're supposed to be childlike. Like, because hope is looking a little slim because I'm practically and analyzing everything. Nah, I can't do that.
You can't. You got to go out for the unknown.
Absolutely. And the only way you can do that is to literally be delusional. Like, have faith. Like,
you got to have faith. That kind that you just throw at yourself. You got to be a rebel. You got to be out there.
And one of the just like underlying principles that like really helps me in those moments is the Lord will make everything good for those that love him and are called according to his purpose. So what that means to me, what that says to me is, even when I do mess up,
absolutely,
he will make it right.
He's
going to realign this path.
It's like he's going to turn you right back around again.
He does it every time.
Every single time.
You be this
and
way.
He told us he was going to do that.
Right on back around this way.
He be like, no,
just come on back.
He said, my rebuke is my love. So when I do tap that shoulder and tell you, no, this not
the way.
All you gotta do is turn around. He's when he forgives you, he said he holds no record of it.
No record of it.
So if you're continue to living in the past, that you are literally going against God.
Yes. Oh, girl, say it again.
So it's just like, bro, like
forgive yourself. Yeah. Why are you still there?
Yeah.
And how important is your faith on this journey? Because for me, faith is literally everything. You know.
I don't even know a word to describe how important it is to me. It is everything to not only finances to my life, like and just to sort of bring it even back to finances. Just even realizing how much our finances and how many biblical principles are interwoven into the Bible. To like how many instructions that he gave us regarding our finances, that I promise you, if we just really follow the Bible, and I'm gonna make a bold statement here. I'm gonna make a bold statement.
Do it, girl.
But if you are a Christian and you are in poverty, you are not following the Bible. And I know it hurts. And I know we know a lot of Christian. We know a lot of believers that we've grown up with that have prayed, that did all the things, been very faithful. They've never, ever been able to have any financial freedom. The Lord has shown me how much we were disobedient. We were. How much we lacked the instructions, the very instructions that He given us in the Bible at any level.
He'll give it to you.
Like when I tell you,
and it's written. And I would love for you to.
And how many people just don't look and listen to what you've given? You know, we have that little voice in our hearts that speaks to us. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And even for people who don't, because I'll even use myself. I was not even aware of the Holy Spirit until recently, like until the last few years, like in terms of like how the Holy Spirit speaks to me. You know what I'm saying? Yes. And so I remember like growing up, always being confused, and people would be like, the Holy Spirit, and I'm like, well, what is the Holy Spirit telling me? Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's good. That's
like,
good.
And so it didn't speak to me, and I'm gonna be like, it just didn't. And now in maturing and getting closer to the Lord, I can definitely hear it now.
That's what will reveal it. The more closer you get,
absolutely. Oh yeah,
it will reveal
for sure
itself. You'll start learning what that voice is
for sure. Yeah. And but like I said, like that comes with time, and it take a lot of faith to do that. But like I want to specifically like even just speak to the ones who may not have
that's
that.
The truth.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because
don't know how to identify that.
That's
so
it's
powerful.
A real thing, and it don't make you
it
don't make you any less of
a believer.
It comes
with time.
Yeah, like I feel
and then
like
especially if you crave it,
absolutely,
it's there. So
absolutely,
I love it. Like.
I feel like, a lot of times people, if anything, people are ashamed about that, especially like within the church. And sometimes because it's just like you are sort of condemned for not understanding how the Lord speaks to you. And like I said, as a younger believer, like that was always discouraging to me. Like I was like, well, why not? Is the Lord not?
Yeah, it's
like
we talking to everybody else. Yeah,
absolutely. You think he's just not talking to you or listening to you. But he does, and we just need to learn how to identify that. And that came with me as, like I said, through experiences.
Through experiences, and just growth, maturity, and then like because we are talking about finances. Yeah. If you are a believer out there, and like I said, you don't know the voice of the Holy Spirit, whatever. Pray for it, but I like to. Like I said, I'm practical. Even like how the Lord speaks to me now, I love that He speaks to me in such a way that I can understand now. But I would like to, if you guys don't mind, even just give maybe a few.
Listen, take your time.
Absolutely, practical advice, just so the eyes are open. You know what I'm saying? Because
we love that.
We all live.
Look, let me put my cord.
We need it. So I
want to listen.
Yeah. So let me just ask you guys a question really quick.
Okay.
Do you know any believers that are poverty stricken, past or present?
Yes.
Like
yes,
we do.
We grew up seeing it. Have you ever pondered the thought, why does it seem like a lot of believers live in poverty, but like I can see all these non-believers
always
they seem like
they
are flourishing.
And that has always been a very, very, very
real
question. Yeah,
I don't know why we don't ask it, because when I tell you, when I took that question straight to God, the revelations that He has given me,
the revelation, we need to hear it.
Like
we need
it just
boggles my mind. Sure everybody else want to know.
Yeah, like it's a full. I mean, it's a lot, but I'm gonna try to stick to. So the first thing He showed me was, I want to just say this, because I have a podcast coming out called Truth Hurts. Like literally, because the truth hurts, but we need it. We need the truth because lies kill. Now,
I can see her
specifically surrounding finances, because this is just my field that He's giving me, right?
Right.
So I'm gonna say some hard truths, and all I say is, number one, take it back to the Lord, and two, cross check it with the Bible. Don't take anybody's word for at face value. But three, pray that the Lord softens your heart so you can actually hear these things and get past the offense.
Yes.
Because the spirit of offense is what?
Yes. That's the one.
That's the ones that, don't
tear
that tears us up. That tears,
yeah.
So,
I'm ready to accept it. Yeah.
Number one, faith is a action word, right? When we are talking about financial abundance, number one, there's a separation between salvation and financial abundance. we are given salvation because the Lord is good.
Yes.
Right? Like our works are not what causes us to have salvation, right? That's all Jesus.
Right, right.
Now, that is outside of asking the Lord to bless you with abundance. Okay? So when you are asking for a blessing, an extra something outside of salvation, because salvation is enough.
Yes.
But you are asking for things outside of salvation. Yeah. Lord, can you put your hand on my business? Can you help me with it? That means that requires action from you.
Yes, it does.
Like you don't work for your salvation. Right. You can't work for your salvation.
Yeah.
Let's be clear. Yes.
That's given to you by grace.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yes. Literally.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to the blessings of the Lord, when you look in the Bible and when we talk about some of these, you'll see that they are conditional.
Yeah.
And he's very clear about it, right? One of the first verses that come to mind is, my people will perish due to lack of knowledge. He said that in the Old Testament. You know why? Because we don't
seek it.
We don't seek it, nor do we follow instructions. Like we will pray on our knees and fast for money, for financial blessings.
Look at time and like, wait.
Now, one time are we looking in this Bible to see what he done said about our financial stewardship?
Yeah.
Because heavy is the head that wears the crown. So
That's
you are
true.
asking for more.
You asking.
You are required to do more.
You are required.
So I just want to be clear with that.
And we out here doing the bare minimum
more
and expecting a great
big old blessing to just fall from the sky. That's what they expect.
Literally. In James 2:17 it says, faith by itself, if it does not have works, it is dead. It literally, if it does not have works, it is dead.
If it does not have works.
Let me tell you what verse rocked my world. It was Luke, I want to say like 6 something. Jesus said himself, why do you call me God? Why do you call me my Lord and you don't listen to what I said? So when that was the first verse he sort of showed me before taking me down his journey. And I'm like, what are you trying to tell me? Because, I know I fall short. I'm thinking of all the things that I'm doing wrong.
Right.
And I'm like, Lord, I thought we was working on, and and also another thing right after that, closely after that, it was the parable of let me see. I want to say it was the parable of I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Take your time.
Well, before I go, let me just go back to what I was saying. So like I said, faith is an action word. The Bible says that Jesus himself said, why do you call me Lord and you don't follow the instructions that I've already laid out? Why are you praying to me and you haven't even did what I already told you to do? Why are you asking for more and you haven't done this? And I'm not, again, I really want to be clear in separating salvation and abundance, because I don't want to conflate the two.
Yeah.
You can't work for salvation. I want to just be very clear about that. So everything we are discussing is asking the Lord to do extra for you.
In abundance.
Non-Christians, what I was going to say is, non-Christians, a lot of times they see financial abundance, they see prosperity because they follow the Bible more than Christians do, even by accident. What do I mean by that? When you if you pick up any financial book, and I done read them all, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Warren Buffett's book, the advice that they given those books are literally biblical principles, right? Investment advice. I set up my entire portfolio based on what the Bible said, right? Invest in 7 to 8 different ventures, so that when the famine comes,
that's it.
You are good. You are set, right?
Multiple streams.
Divert, right. So that's diversification. Another thing the Bible tells us to do: give, and you will receive. We all know Oprah. Her entire show was, be a give. Give. You give and you receive. That's a biblical principle, right?
Yeah.
Now, where a lot of Christians mess that up is they conflate tithing with giving.
Ooh,
those are 2 different things. Tithing is supporting the kingdom, and you do that. It even says don't even do it under a contract, or don't even do it if you
don't do it. You feel like you not,
because God don't need your money if it's coming from if it ain't coming from you just wanting to. He don't. You can't do anything for God. Like, let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
You every time, or if every single time money releases from you giving somebody money, it comes with your mouth, it comes with attitude. Ooh-wee. It comes with, that's not giving. Right? Like that's a transaction.
Yes.
Let's be clear. Giving, as it's broken down in the Bible, and helping the poor, when the Lord says that he who gives to the poor lends to the Lord, right? So that means that when you see, let's say, a homeless person, right? You give him $1. I ain't giving him no money because I don't want him to go do that. Why
it don't matter what he do?
You ain't lending to him. Like, why does anyone have to qualify if you are giving from the right heart? That's a heart posture.
Yes.
So
it's either gonna do it or you don't.
Right. So when it comes to giving and tithing, don't think just because you didn't gave to church, whatever, this week that you don't have any not even responsibility, but you can't look at somebody who's doing who's
may need it,
lacking in areas that you are not. You can't also give to them, right? Like I specifically make sure that I give to, and I don't want to say poor because people who
or less fortunate,
like I specifically make sure I do that just
because
like that's just an agreement that the Lord,
especially if you're blessed enough to give it, why not give it out?
Exactly.
Why not?
Like I just so that's separate, right? Also the committing the sin of doing nothing. Doing nothing is a sin. What do I mean by that? If the Lord has given you a word, if he has dropped a seed in you, and in response to that, the only thing that you do is, Lord, give me a sign, give me a confirmation. How he gonna confirm anything if you haven't moved first? That requires action.
Shonda, first of all, you about to free so many people.
It freed me. It freed me because, like, I'm
especially when you don't even really. When you don't talking that, you be freeing yourself too.
Absolutely,
it's so
doing nothing because
therapeutic. So
many Christians fall into the trap of endlessly praying, asking for signs, asking for confirmations before even taking action. Prayer is crucial, right? Like we know that speaking to the Lord. Yes, I'm never denying that. However, it also requires action. The Lord says, "Please go and practice your faith." So that means that's actionable. That's a verb. That means that when I teach you something in my word or in our quiet time, the first thing you need to do when you are released from the secret place is look for ways that you can implement whatever he just told you. And I promise you, if you just start there, you will start to see how the Lord will align your life so that you can literally practice your faith, which increases your wisdom because we get wisdom based on through experience, and also allows the Lord to pour more out. To whom, what do you say? He who has little and he who does more with little will do more with less. Or I know. But basically, the principle is if you do something with even a little, I will add so much to
it. Yes,
that's
and
the one.
The little. Don't think of money. Like we can't pay the Lord. Like you can't give him any. You can't add nothing to him. What he means is actions. Do what I told you to do.
It's so good because a lot of us, we get so caught up on, like we'll get the vision, we'll get the download. And then we're like, well, how are we supposed to do this? And it's like, just get started. Like if you know you want to.
And he will lead you.
He will lead you. He's not going to give you sometimes he don't give you the bigger picture. It's like, let me give you one step. Then once you get there, then I'll reveal something else to you.
Seek ye the
and
kingdom
he will always give you the right
things will be added.
They can't be added to you until you are doing.
He'll give you the right clients.
He will. Listen,
he sends certain clients to you.
No, for real.
Even if it's even if you need to work on patience.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Why is patience the word for it?
I used to say to my clients all the time, I know why you was sent here. They'd be like, I know why you was
I know exactly why.
You were sent here to me.
Yes.
Purposely for a reason.
And it's,
then they would figure out, like, I'm like, no, I know that. So let's get done. Like, let's get it. Like,
no, seriously.
I know. Like everybody, because I pray for my clients, right?
Same.
So when he sends them, it's something with that person that I needed to know or needed to be.
Yes.
Or
for
they
that
needed
person
you.
all the time, or they needed me.
That's
right.
True.
It was it's always something. Or I needed to be healing this person by my hands or by my
or even vice versa, because even healing others heals us.
It's one way or another why you was here. It's a transfer of energy. That's why you're here.
Yep.
I used to always tell my clients, I still do to this
light
day.
will cast out any darkness. So like even sometimes, like even with patience, like you said, you have a client, let's just say, that's testing you.
Yeah.
Your light, you being still who God has told you to,
yes.
that changes
everything.
It does.
And like those little moments are the moment. I feel like we be always looking for like the big signs and the big those when I know one of the ways that the Lord speaks to his children in general, but like, let's say I'm in prayer and I'm like, I'm real impatient today, Lord. Like, I'm not going to, I don't even have it. Lord, I am irritated today. Everything is going wrong. I start to, I even ask him, Lord, can you reveal yourself to me? Like, open my eyes to like all the ways that you're playing in my life, right? Because I can't see it. I can't see your goodness today, and I know you're good, but I can't see it. I'm blinded.
I can't see it today.
I'm blinded. So like, open my eyes, change my spiritual lenses, and help me to see you. You know how that usually, it don't usually manifest like with flowers and no, it manifests as, my eyes are open to when my children are aggravating, just like annoying me that day. That's literally the Lord saying, okay, this is you need to work on your patience. And that's in that moment, that is literally him. So I started, instead of like getting overwhelmed in those moments, I literally will say out loud, because it just changes things. I literally say, Lord, thank you for this opportunity to practice my patience. Even though I'm talking, I never want to say it. Let me be clear.
Don't ask for it, because he would definitely give you what you're asking for.
He will. Yes. He absolutely will give you what you're asking for. But like, in those moments, instead of blowing up, literally force yourself to say, Lord, thank you for this opportunity to practice patience. Like, the way that it changed. Like, it really will, in that moment, will ground you. Lord, help me to see my kids how you see them. How you could, because them right now, kids.
Them ain't even mine. I'm just borrowing them.
I know that's right.
Them your kids.
Lord, these kids,
kids you created.
Look,
I need you to help me deal with them.
To care for them.
Listen,
that's
right.
That's our job. To care for them. But then we give them back to you, though.
Yes.
And I'm still a child in my father's
prayer,
right? So like,
this my little sister.
Look, do you hear me?
Look,
I don't know what you want me to, but they're testing me, Lord.
Help me with it.
Like, that's what seeking the kingdom is.
Yes,
asking him to help you while you're in the process, instead of taking it in your own hands and
trying to figure it out yourself. Because
it
never works. You just go in circles.
Never.
Oh my God! I know we gotta wrap this up. This is
so
good. I know it's so good, but I was like, so we want you to go ahead and just say your last things to the audience, because we are running short of time, but we definitely, gotta get back in. Shonda back out here, girl.
I think we need Shonda for part 2, because there's so much more that we need to tap into.
And we still didn't even get into the deeper part.
We did. Or even credit. Or I gotta come on for part 2.
You do
need to come. Like, really.
We'll schedule you for next month. If that's okay. Yeah. We can do part 2.
The last thing. What I will say is 2 things. Number 1, as an entrepreneur, make sure that you don't feel like you need to know everything. In fact, be humble enough to know that you don't know everything. And that's going to be the first step to you actually acquiring knowledge. But know that you don't know everything. Know that you are not supposed to know everything. There are different departments in every business for a reason. No one person can do everything.
True.
Except God. 2, I would say, focus on your credit a lot more than you probably have. And what I mean by that is doing very simple things like having a foundational credit profile. And all that is making sure that you have at least 4 accounts open. This is irregardless if you have collections. I don't care about that. I'm talking about how to build credit. The foundation to a great credit profile and score is having at least 4 open accounts. 2 of the 4 accounts needs to be revolving accounts, which are credit cards. So have 2 credit cards. Have 1 short-term installment, which is just any loan under 36 months. It can be a personal loan. It can be a furniture loan, whatever. And then having 1 long-term installment. If you have student loans, you already have a long-term installment, so you don't need to get another one. If you have a car, that's a long-term installment, because it's any loan over 36 months. So this basic profile, 4 accounts, 2 being credit cards, 2 being loans, and then coupled with making sure that your reported utilization on your credit card month after month is under 10%. Your reported utilization, not what you use throughout the month. Yeah, because you can max out your credit card. But on your statement date, which is the last day of your billing cycle, you need to make sure that your balance is less than 10% of whatever your limit is on that credit card. That will change your credit report within 30 days. It'll change your credit score. So that those 5 key principles are the foundation of a credit profile. You do that every single 60 to 90 days, you are literally moving up a tier when it comes to like what your credit profile qualifies you for. You don't want to have a high credit score and a horrible credit profile. Don't have a high credit score and your profile does not tell the same story, because lenders don't care about your score. Your scores are for consumers. That's for us to know where we stand. Yeah. They don't care about that. They look at your profile. So have that foundational credit profile and then build on top of that.
Okay.
If you have collections, you can deal with that outside of the foundation.
It don't matter where they are, is on the bad side. You're telling them where to be on the good side.
Yes.
To keep building a good one.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I always thought the score was what mattered.
Lenders don't even see your
utilization and what you're building is what matters.
Yeah, your credit profile trumps any score, and it translates around across any credit profile. So you don't got to worry about if they pull in TransUnion. That means that your credit profile is not right. Set that basic foundational credit profile and build on that. You just build on that. You only need a $200 credit card, 2 of them. That does more for your credit profile than paying somebody else to get on theirs, and it's a $20,000 credit profile. That don't matter when it comes to your borrower worthiness, because that's what you need to increase as a business owner, so you can get business loans, so you can get grants. Loans and just it's your credit is the center of your financial life. It is a disservice to you to only focus on your business credit. It's a disservice to you to only make money and not have the credit to back it. I promise you, it makes everything harder.
Yes.
So that's what I would say. If you are a believer, I would absolutely look into the biblical principles of biblical financial principles. I'm coming out with a podcast called Truth Hurts. Actually, I shot my first episode yesterday.
Yes. We can't wait to tune in.
Let them know where to find you and how to follow you and everything.
Yeah, so I'm Shonda Martin on pretty much any platform you can find me on, but specifically for the Truth Hurts podcast, if you're someone who's interested in biblical financial principles where we break down harsh truths that we have probably failed to accept or even just discuss, have the conversations that many people are afraid to have, and you want a solution, because I'm not just going to badger you without providing actionable steps. So if you are a person who is interested in how to set your portfolio up and how to amass the very prosperity that our Lord has promised us, he wants us to have it, but we have to steward our finances well. Yep. And there's a lot of instructions when in the Bible about it, and so we'll be breaking that down week by week. And you can find me on YouTube.
I love that. I love how you're so passionate about this. You know, I personally call you the female Myron Golden. I'm going to go ahead and put that out there that Shonda, look now, you're gonna be in some rooms. You're gonna be in some rooms now. We are so grateful that you stopped by today. I know your schedule is super busy. I enjoyed this. I'm sure
absolutely
he enjoyed it.
We're doing a part 2.
We're doing a part 2,
and I want y'all on mine.
Yes,
we would love to.
Okay, I was gonna say that. You know, I was waiting on the camera to start. I'm like, wait a minute,
So let's just make a promise to the audience, because I like putting people on. What we will do, and I promise you, we will do an episode, a visual episode where we will break down more specifically financial principles, because I feel like today we didn't get really into it, but I do want to make sure that we bring the audience something actionable, something that they can do. So I commit to it. I know they do.
We all commit to it.
We got y'all.
Yes. So we love it. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the end of this episode, and we'll see you.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.